that's just part of Fire on the Mountain. This is a really great tune to show you this style of bowing. I've been asked a couple of times by people to explain a little bit more succinctly the style of bowing that I use. It's a Georgia shuffle. I've researched that kind of a little bit, and I do, remembering the old fiddlers that I listened to when I first started. I guess I sound like that, and I listen to a lot of Gid Tanner, and I listen to a lot of Tommy Jarrell too. But that's the way I learned, because what I did was I learned from a guy who plays this way. His name is John Peterson. He was a member of the Phoenix All-Star String Band back in New York. Long time ago, but he's out here in California now, and I've studied with him, worked with him for many years, and that's the way he plays, and so I just kind of copied him. And this is a good way to learn how to play, is to copy who you like. If you can go to their house and learn from them personally, that's really even better, like a lot of people did with Tommy Jarrell. But this is a pretty simple way to approach fiddle tunes, and it entails a lot of slurring, bowing on the offbeat, slurring on the other beats, and like I said, I learned from this guy John Peterson. He uses an up bow offbeat accent. A lot of fiddlers do a down bow offbeat accent. Now, the down bow offbeat accent can facilitate some other things that you can do with playing and your rhythmic playing. The up bow offbeat accent has a very danceable quality to it. There's a couple of things it's a little bit more tricky to do with that style when you get used to that, so you have to change things around a little bit. But essentially, it is this, and essentially, I approach every single tune that I play with this in mind. I have to change things around, of course, during the tune to facilitate making notes here and there. But this is essentially what I approach the tune with, this style of bowing. Now, if you were to read music, let me digress just a little bit. If you were to read music, you would see most of the tunes in the books are written out in eighth notes. And we play in 16th notes, but they're written out in eighth notes. So what we find in this style of bowing is the slurring of the first two eighth notes in the grouping of four, the bowing of the third one, I'm sorry, I don't mean to get that right in my face, the slurring of the fourth and the first two of the next measure, the bowing, single bowing of the third note, slur, we have to change the bow direction, of course, slurring the fourth and the first two of the next measure, and on and on and on like that. Or at least keeping that structure in mind. I'll go really slow so this makes more sense, hopefully. So I know that's really, it's hard to follow that, but this is what it sounds like kind of connected together. Sorry. I don't know why my bow does that. When I slur from the D to the E open E string, and sometimes it just doesn't catch. And I do have plenty of rosin on my bow. Anyway, that's basically it. Now, that's not hard. It's not a long, tedious thing to learn how to do, except for the fact that you got to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it over and over and over with a tune that facilitates that style of bowing. Fire on the Mountain is a great one. Okay, I only played the A part once, but that kind of gives you an example of what you can do. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you can do with this style of bowing, but you have to, in order, I think, for me personally anyway, in order to find a way that you feel good about playing and you can do it every time, you just have to do it a lot. You have to do it over and over. You have to pick a couple of tunes that really, like I said, facilitate this style and play them over and over and over until it just becomes a natural thing that you're doing with your right hand and your right arm. And then take tunes, other tunes, and play them the same way, or at least approach them the same way. Now I know you have to change things here and there for different note combinations, but for an example, West Fork Hills. So you see what I did the first time through. I'm just kind of bowing, making the notes. Second time through. I'm using that Georgia Shuffle style. So basically what I'm saying is that the Georgia Shuffle can take you through a whole bunch of tunes and a whole bunch of note combinations, but you don't want to do that through the whole tune for every tune because it sounds boring. It gets boring to play, it gets boring to listen to. So you have to remember to change up periodically. But that will give you, if you do it down bow or up bow, it doesn't make any difference. It'll give you a lot of nice rhythmic push and rhythmic drive to your playing that will help the band, help the dance, help the dancers, whatever you're playing for. Okay, well I hope that helps. If you have any comments on it, if you need more information, let me know. I'll be glad to do more. I don't know much more what to say because it's basically that's it, you know. So hang in there, try it, and see what you can do. Okay, and I'll post the next tune I post will have a lot of that in it. Okay, see you next time.